Well, howdy, folks. We're going to take a break from the movies for just a moment here. And this video is kind of going to be a lengthy one. But I'll try to keep it going as fast as I can. It's Christmas time. We're a few days out away from Christmas, and here in Indiana, we're hunkering down or we're bracing ourselves for a big winter storm that's supposed to be coming our way starting in a couple of days, going through Christmas, and they're talking like blizzard conditions and so forth. But we're kind of still going to celebrate Christmas, even though we may be in a bit of a wintry storm. And I always like a white Christmas myself, but ice and blizzard conditions I could do without. So, but anyhow, we got the tasty beverage here in my new Be Strong and Courageous mug here. We got some hot chocolate, reduced sugar because I am diabetic. Kind of got to watch the sugar intake. So, yeah, some Swiss Miss reduced sugar. So, yeah. Pretty good. So, in this video, I would like to talk about one of the other things I go crazy about is Christmas music. Every year, except for like a couple of years ago, it was just a little bit hectic schedule, and I didn't have time, to really sit down and enjoy some of it. That's because I have so much dang Christmas music. As a matter of fact, I have all the CDs I have ripped to MP3s, and I've downloaded a bunch of tracks from Amazon, and it came in my software, my DJ software. When it came up to play all the music, it said I put it in a playlist, and sometimes I let it play overnight. Just a little bit of noise, and it helps comfort me. Even throughout the year, I don't play Christmas music really throughout the year, but I'll play some worship music or something like that. To kind of bring a little bit of peace and something. It's kind of hard, but it's kind of tough to do as something fast paced comes on. So, I just want to go through a lot of the CDs, and I have records too, and some of the albums will turn up multiple times because I have multiple versions. Now, I have a spindle here. Now, this is mostly the music that I have downloaded from Amazon. I have backed up to CD. Now, also, I'm going to try to do it as quick as I can. And it's just music I've downloaded off the internet. The rest of it is compilations that I have made. I've done like my own CD mixes of Christmas music and songs. I don't necessarily play that so much because of the fact that this was before, this started before I was doing MP3s or anything like that. So it was just, I have a CD recorder so I could duplicate CDs and of course play it in the car, especially, in high school and college. But let me take another swig here of my tasty beverage. So, kind of run down these real quick. These are just burned CDs. So, we got Trisha Yearwood, The Sweetest Gift. Randy Travis, An Old Time Christmas. Dwight Yoakam, Come On Christmas. Warner Brothers Records, Christmas Tradition, and there was a record and a cassette release only, but I was able to put it together and put it on CD. Neil Diamond, The Christmas Album. Neil Diamond, The Christmas Album, Volume 2. And we got Scotty McCreery, Christmas with Scotty McCreery. Bill Engvall, Here's Your Sign Christmas. Kenny Rogers, Christmas Greetings. Wow Christmas, which is a 2 CD set. Basically, this was like the Wow series. That's basically Christian music's version of Now That's What I Call Music, basically. And they usually turn out 2 CD sets of the current Christian songs. But that's called Christian Artists Singing Christmas Music. Travis Tritt. Yeah. Travis Tritt, Christmas, Loving Time of the Year. Brad Paisley, Christmas. Lone Star, a lot of country. Billy Gilman, Classic Christmas. Reba, The Secret of Giving, a Christmas collection. A Country Christmas, and Christina Aguilera, My Kind of Christmas. I think I was in college at the time, and I checked this out from a local library, and I think I was running out of CDs and kind of put them together. Vince Gill, Let There Be Peace on Earth, which is a official CD. Somehow lost the case somewhere, so it just sits in the spindle. Disney's A Christmas Carol soundtrack. Kenny Chesney, Christmas it's All I Want for Christmas Is a Real Good Tan. 2 George Strait Christmas albums. Casting Crowns, Peace on Earth. Alabama Christmas 2. Lady Antebellum on This Winter's Night. Shenandoah and Ricky Van Shelton, their Christmas albums. This has something on it. Yeah, their Christmas albums put together. Christmas with the Judds. Joe Diffie, Mr. Christmas. Sammy Kershaw, Christmas Time's A-Comin'. Pure Energy, which was a teen Christian band. Yeah, Pure Energy Christmas. Michael Bublé Christmas. Blake Shelton, Cheers, It's Christmas. Chris Tomlin, Adore, Christmas Songs of Worship. Amy Grant, Tennessee Christmas. Amy Grant, Home for Christmas. Amy Grant, A Christmas to Remember. Amy Grant, A Christmas Album. Yeah, been going on since the 80s. Okay. How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Boris Karloff. And this is there's 2 different versions of this. You'll see one version in my records, and this is a completely different version. This is nothing but the narration of Boris Karloff with some songs mixed in, but it's not the full soundtrack. Alan Jackson, Let There Be Christmas, or Let It Be Christmas. The Grinch soundtrack. I really should put that together with How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This is the Jim Carrey movie soundtrack, directed by Ron Howard. Mercy Me, The Christmas Sessions. Kelly Clarkson, Wrapped Up in Red. Stephen Curtis Chapman, The Music of Christmas. A Chipmunk Christmas. Classic stuff there. And I think this was a Target exclusive back in the mid-1990s, called The Stars Come Out at Christmas, which is just a 10-track CD. Again, lost the case. Put together by Sony Music, and featured like several artists and highlighting Christmas music. Okay, now let's get into the official stuff. There is some other downloads in here as well, but yeah. But we'll go into like some of the official releases. Okay, the first 4 here is by Garth Brooks. Okay, he has done a total of 4 Christmas releases. However, one is a reissue. In 1992, just like a few weeks before his album The Chase dropped in 1992, Garth released Capitol Records. Then it was called Liberty Records for the Nashville division, but Liberty Records drops this. This is his first Christmas album, released in 1992, entitled Beyond the Season. And it has 11 tracks on it, and for the most part is more of... This one is more religious themed music, like it has Go Tell It on the Mountain, God Rest You Merry Gentlemen. Some original music, again, that's more Christ-centered Christ-centered Christmas music. There is a couple of holiday songs that he's incorporated about, by Santa Claus. One of them titled The Old Man's Back in Town, which is one that he wrote with a buddy of his. And the other one is Santa Looked a Lot Like Daddy, which is a cover of a Buck Owens tune from the 60s. But yeah, Beyond the Season. And then in 1999, he releases his second Christmas album entitled Garth Brooks and the Magic of Christmas, which is more holiday favorites and more of a big band type of arrangement to the music. There is some tracks from this that's been incorporated into this, that's been remixed a little bit by adding horns on some tracks and some strings on some tracks. But yeah, so there you go. That's the first version. Now in 2001, Capitol and Garth issued, now this is a burned CD of it because I didn't see the point of tracking down an official CD, but they reissued the album in 2001 because Garth had produced a made-for-TV movie called Call Me Claus, and he had recorded 3 brand new songs specifically for that film. And 3 brand new songs, which, taking the songs from Beyond the Season off of The Magic of Christmas and putting in those 3 new ones, and so the number of tracks is the same, but the timing is a little bit different. And then in 2016, him and his wife Trisha Yearwood, there's been talk for years of doing a duets album. Well, that kind of came to pass with this, Christmas Together. And so this makes her second Christmas album his third. So, yeah. And it was independently released. Under the, because by the time he had left Capitol Records, and matter of fact, he had even left RCA Records, which was this, when he came back out of retirement, he signed a deal with RCA, and RCA released his back catalog and the original, and a brand new album called Man Against Machine. And when it came time to do another album, there was some disagreement there. But anyhow, let's move along. This is going to be long, so I don't have time to really stop and talk. This is from an Amazon download, Andrea Bocelli, My Christmas. What I tend to want to do sometimes is go to Discogs. If they have the disc art, I will print off a label what the disc art looks like. So, yeah. And then, most recently, they have the Bocelli Family Christmas, which features Andrea and his son, Matteo, and the youngest child and daughter, Virginia. And Not a big fan of classical music, but these two albums are really, really good, especially this one. Um, it mixes the contemporary with the classical, and it's really good. Randy Travis, Songs from the Season, a 2007 release, obviously before his bad stroke. Harry Connick Jr., What a Night, a Christmas album, 2008 release. A Holly Dolly Christmas, which is a brand new version of it. This apparently was released in 2020 and is seeing a reissue here in 2022. And then in 1990, Home for Christmas. And we have the a cappella group Home Free, Full of Cheer, and Even More Full of Cheer, which my brother has burned for me. Then we have Alan Jackson, Honky Tonk Christmas, which was released in 1993. And we have this Christmas Treasures album, Beautiful Songs of the Pan Flute and Regency Orchestra. Yeah, so it's more instrumental. It's more of an instrumental music. Yeah. Ray Boltz, A Christmas Album. I have another copy of this. I don't know why I ended up with that. But, yeah, Ray Boltz, local guy from here. But he was a big Christian music artist at the time. Until, obviously, his fall from grace. Still, we pray for Ray, and hopefully, you know, we still love him, just don't agree or like what he's doing. Let me take another swig. Okay, next up we have the New Kids on the Block, Merry Merry Christmas. Again, it was an Amazon download. The Preacher's Wife soundtrack, which I just did a review of the movie. This is the CD soundtrack. Unfortunately, the insert has been lost, but this is a official purchase. However, it was a purchase through Columbia House. So it's then we have Sarah McLachlan, Winter Song, which I inherited that one. I'm not really big on that one. David Phelps, Joy Joy, member of the Gaither clan, or group, I should say. Excuse me, they're not a clan. They're not evil people. Okay, some more instrumental Christmas music. We have A Panpipes Christmas, performed by the Don Marsh Orchestra. I got these CDs from my grandmother, and she loved to listen to this guy named Don Marsh, the Don Marsh Orchestra, and he did a lot of pan flute. He did this collection called Beside Still Waters, and it was all instrumental music, particularly even religious, like hymns and gospel hymns and stuff like that. We have A Quiet Christmas, and we have Brentwood Christmas Jazz, instrumental jazz arrangements of Christmas favorites. What's strange is that they do a cover of Amy Grant's Tennessee Christmas. Oh well. Phillips, Craig, and Dean, Repeat the Sounding Joy, a mid-90s Christmas album. Lauren L. Harris, Christmas, originally from 1988. Aaron Neville's Soulful Christmas. You know, Aaron Neville. Kathy Mattea, Good News. Smoky Mountain Christmas, performed by the Cumberland Gap Reunion. There probably was some insert art to this, but has since disappeared. Actually, probably disappeared a long time ago. I don't remember that having a cover. From the same company, there was this company called Silver Bells Music. They did a lot of stuff like this, and it was like an independent Christian music label. They did a lot of cassettes and CDs, and maybe even records. But this is Caribbean Christmas, featuring Kokomo Joe. Who that is, who knows? But it has, and it's split down the middle. There's actually a track missing on, there's actually 12 tracks, and it's listed as 11 tracks, but there's actually 12. And it's split down the middle of calypso type of Caribbean music and reggae. So, yeah, it's split down to two different sides. Some more instrumental Christmas music. It's from the Listener's Choice line of CDs, An Old World Christmas, which has old Christmas hymns like The First Noel, Silent Night. That's the music that you hear at the beginning of my Christmas movie reviews, the version of Silent Night. So it's coming from this CD. And we have B.J. Thomas, Christmas is Coming Home, from, when was it? 1997. Chicago, Christmas, What's It Gonna Be, Santa? A Country Christmas with the Stars of Nashville has Merle Haggard, Waylon Jennings, Crystal Gale, Bill Anderson, and Porter Wagner. Kind of an independent release. Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of I think like a special project that they came together to do. Need a swig of the good old beverage. Then we have a Henry Mancini Christmas. Henry Mancini, famous music and film composer. Yeah, you know. And we have The Ultimate Classical Christmas, featuring several composers, and it's got a classical music artists and singers, such as Yo-Yo Ma, the London Symphony Orchestra, and John Williams, and Charlotte Church, Pavarotti. Yeah, and the list goes on. We got Kelly Clarkson's latest Christmas album, When Christmas Comes Around. Country, and this one was also called A Country Christmas, but this is a different compilation. Yeah, Country Christmas has Dwight Yoakam, George Strait, Vince Gill, Emmylou Harris, Kenny Rogers, Travis Tritt, Lori Morgan, Randy Travis, The Judds, and Sawyer Brown. We have Reba McEntire, Merry Christmas to You. This was a 1993 reissue. You'll see this one again in my records with a different with a different picture on the cover. Now, a few years ago, I got attracted to this other a cappella group called Pentatonix, and it seems like about all they do is put out Christmas albums. I think that's where their popularity lies. Now, they did do a regular album, but that was quite a few years ago, like almost like 10 years ago. But they found out they had more success with their Christmas albums than anything else, and so we have their latest one, and this is Holidays Around the World. And we have last year's Evergreen. And then 2020's We Need a Little Christmas. If they didn't have a disc art on the internet, I kind of just did this. 2014's That's Christmas to Me, Amazon download. 2018's Christmas is Here. 2016's A Pentatonic Christmas. And then in 2019, they did a Best of Pentatonix Christmas. And so basically a greatest hits CD of all their favorite songs from the previous albums. So yeah, there you go. The Nativity Story. This was, and I'll probably do a review of this film, but there was a film that came out in 2006, just a couple years after the Passion of the Christ, and using pretty much of the same crew. And they made and it was produced by New Line Cinema to make a story about the birth of Jesus. And so New Line Cinema, which is a division of Time Warner. Time Warner also owns the Christian label Word Records, and so they got together with Word Records and Warner Brothers Records to produce an album of Christmas music, Christian themed Christmas music, with different artists ranging from contemporary Christian and country music that are on either Warner Brothers, Curb Records, or the Word record labels. And so, yeah. And then from the Listener's Choice collection, we have the Nutcracker Suite, which is performed by the London Symphony Orchestra. The Christian group Third Day, Christmas Offerings. This was the third in their Offerings worship series. And so they thought it was their time to put out a Christmas album. And yeah, Christmas Offerings. And that was from 2006. And I inherited this one from my grandmother. It's one of these, she bought when she got her CD player in the early 90s, like 1990, from 1991 to 1994, she bought CDs like crazy, and it didn't matter if it was a major release or an independent release like this. This is from an indie label called Laserlight Digital, and it's called O Holy Night, Traditional Christmas Carols, sung by just random people. So yeah, then we got Johnny Mathis, the Christmas music of Johnny Mathis. The soundtrack to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Yeah, I was lucky to find that several years ago. And it includes a lot more music that was not included in the TV special. Michael Crawford, A Christmas Album. Sandi Patty and Peabo Bryson, It's Christmas. Sandi Patty, Christmas with Sandi Patty, The Gift Goes On. Sandi Patty, Oh Holy Night, with the London Symphony Orchestra. Toby Keith, Christmas to Christmas, which is all original Christmas songs. There's not a Jingle Bells or a Silent Night on here. It's all original songs. And probably has one of the saddest Christmas songs on here. A lot of people would say a song like Christmas Shoes, which is a sad song from the group New Song. The song Christmas Shoes, but I would say the first song on it, Santa, I'm Right Here, kind of ranks up there with it. Kenny G, Miracles, the Holiday Album, which I think was his first Christmas album. Johnny Cash, the Classic Christmas Album. And they call it the Classic Christmas Album, but they've done this with Elvis, and they've done it with several other people, and including Neil Diamond. What it is just a compilation of all the Christmas songs they've recorded over the years. Even if they had multiple albums, they just put a random compilation together. But it's still good stuff. Vince Gill, his second Christmas album, Breath of Heaven, came out in 1998. And this is with Patrick Williams and his orchestra. Anne Murray, Best of the Season. Steve Green, The First Noel. Andy Williams, Merry Christmas. Classic Christmas album here. A Charlie Brown Christmas on CD, the original CD when it first came out onto CD. Because this has been obviously different renditions have been digitally remastered. And then we have Songs for Worship Christmas, the greatest praise and worship songs of all time. And it's a compilation of Christmas music worship by different artists, and it's a 2 CD set. These Song for Worship albums were pretty popular in the late 90s, early 2000s, and they were a 2 CD set of the most popular worship songs sung in church, but that in particular was Christmas albums. And we got a recent release here. Backstreet Boys, A Very Backstreet Christmas. So yeah. They're all on the back here doing the Home Alone impression. And I picked this up at a Dave's, the store's called Dave's Video, and they sell like used CDs, and I thought this was a full album. It's a 4-song sampler to an album. I tried to look and see if I could find the album. No, but it's from Kid Rhino Records, and it's Have Yourself a Looney Tunes Christmas. It's a Kid Rhino is a division of Rhino Records, which is a division of Warner Brothers. So yeah, it's a 4-song sampler of Looney Tunes singing some Christmas songs. El Divo, the Christmas Collection. Christmas in the Smoky Mountains, which has real Appalachian instruments. And just looking at some of the tracks on it. Then we have from 1993, in conjunction with Home Alone 2, we have a Home Alone Christmas, which I downloaded from Amazon, which was basically all the pop music artists that you hear in both Home Alone and Home Alone 2 appear on, they put together on one CD compilation. But then I also have the Home Alone soundtrack, which I also downloaded from Amazon, and Home Alone 2 Lost in New York. But this one had the score. This one was just the score to Home Alone 2. While, excuse me, the first Home Alone soundtrack actually had the full soundtrack, so it has like the versions of White Christmas, you know, I'm dreaming, you know, as he's in the shower and putting on the aftershave. Now this one is called "'Tis the Season" from a little independent record company, and some of these recordings are not very good. Yeah, it's like some of them were taken from old, worn out recordings and just don't sound very good. Then we got "Casting Crowns," "It's Finally Christmas," which was just a little EP that they released. TobyMac, "The Light of Christmas." Carrie Underwood, "My Gift," from last year. And I don't know why I got this. It's Amazon download of the Nightmare Before Christmas soundtrack, and it was the deluxe 2 CD version, and while CD 1 has the main soundtrack and CD 2 has bonus tracks, and it's kind of bad because I mean, like, this is from Walt Disney Records, and you have Marilyn Manson. I don't know why. The movie is okay, but yeah, it's some things just don't go together. Then we have Have Yourself a Tractors Christmas from the country group The Tractors, which has long since been disbanded, I think. Yeah, they were popular. They had a song, they had a one-hit wonder song called Baby Likes to Rock It. And they even reworked that song into this album called Santa Claus is Coming in a Boogie Woogie Choo Choo Train. I think this album was a little bit more popular than their official release, but anyhow. And then we have, this one's also called A Country Christmas, but this one was put out by Time Life and RCA Records, or BMG Special Products, and it's a compilation of different country artists, including Elvis, the Statler Brothers, Alabama, George Strait, Gene Autry, Buck Owens, Dwight Yoakam, the Lovin' Brothers, George Jones, Johnny Cash. Yeah. So, yeah. And now we go to the Polar Express soundtrack. Bought this when the movie came out. Almost like within a week after I saw the movie for the first time, because I really enjoyed it at the time, and I thought, I gotta have the soundtrack. That's just, if I go crazy for a movie, I have to get the soundtrack. And then we have, on Storybook, read by Liam Neeson. Now, the full Storybook read by Liam Neeson. So yeah, I found this at a Goodwill and couldn't pass that up. And just this year, I actually purchased the storybook, and I actually put it in the CD player and read right along with it. It's word for word. And I did look at the book. It has a digital download for this particular recording that people can put on their iPhones or their tablets or whatever. Okay, moving along. We have Brooks and Dunn, their only Christmas album, It Won't Be Christmas Without You. Came out in 2002. And let me see here. What do we got? Oh, Michael Martin Murphey, A Cowboy Christmas. And Reba McEntire's My Kind of Christmas, which is more of her singing Christmas songs, just a piano arrangement. Then we have Guy Penrod, also from the Bill Gaither group, his Christmas album from 2014. Yeah, just simply called Christmas. Quite frankly, he was one of my favorite lead singers of the Gaither vocal band, to be honest. He's the guy that took over from Michael English when Michael English went solo from the vocal band. Then we have the Christian music group Avalon, Joy, A Christmas Collection. And Avalon is kind of a pop group. We have Lou Rawls, Christmas is the Time. Duck the Halls, A Robertson Family Christmas. The whole clan from the Duck Dynasty guys. And this was released right in the middle of the popularity of Duck Dynasty. I think it was about a year later. It was when Phil came under heat for making his comments in GQ. John Barry, Oh Holy Night. Celine Dion, These Are Special Times. And I've only purchased the first edition of this. They've put out multiple versions of it since, with different artists and so forth. And it's now That's What I Call Christmas. This was the original 2 CD version, which had a bunch of classic recordings as well as some of the more modern artists like Britney Spears was popular. This was a 2001 release, so if that tells you anything, like NSYNC is on here. NSYNC and not Backstreet Boys. NSYNC and Britney Spears. Yeah. Michael W. Smith, The Spirit of Christmas. Yeah, Michael W. Smith and Friends, I should say. Yeah. Haven't looked or listened to it a lot, because a lot of these CDs just stay in the closet, and I play the MP3 versions rather than wear out the CDs. Roger Whittaker, the world's most beautiful Christmas songs. Now, out of the many Elvis Christmas compilations, the one I have on CD is If Every Day Was Like Christmas, which interesting has like pretty much all the classic recordings of Elvis singing Christmas songs, and it has alternate takes, and there's you'll see the same song on here several times, but it will be an alternate take or an alternate version of that song. Then we have Elvis Christmas Duets, and this is when RCA Nashville thought it was a bright idea to take the voice of Elvis, make brand new recordings, mix it with modern day country artists such as Martina McBride, Carrie Underwood, LeAnn Rimes, Wynonna Judd, Sarah Evans, Amy Grant, Gretchen Wilson, Little Big Town, Anne Murray, and Olivia Newton-John, and just remix and cut in modern day country stars just so they could say I can sing. I sung with Elvis. Christy Lane, Christmas with Christy. Again, I inherited this from my grandmother. Colin Ray, The Gift, Christmas. Yeah. So, and that's all the CDs. So now, if I can, I'm going to shift these all over here. I'm going to need as much space as I can. Still got the candle burning here. The 'Tis the Season flavor from Bath and Body Works. Now we're going to get into the records. And especially this year, I went crazy for the Christmas records. As soon as they were put out onto the shelf, I started perusing through them. Some of them I've had for quite some time. I'm only going to go a few at a time because I don't want to damage my records in any way, shape, or form. When you stock records, you want them standing up somewhat like this on a shelf, and you don't want them laying flat like this. So I always throw a fit when I go into a store and see records packed into a shelf, or they're laying flat like this. So, yeah. So that's why I'm going to, just for a moment, lay these flat, because I just want to show them off real quick, and I'm going to set them down propped up. So the first one here, and this is a classic, and it's a reissue. I purchased this one last year, and it's Christmas with the Chipmunks. Hopefully they have, I haven't looked, but hopefully they have the other album to this, because there was multiple Christmas with the Chipmunks albums. So yeah, here's this one. The classic holiday. They even recreated it. I mean, like verbatim. I mean, this was brand new, I think, from Amazon where I got it, and they recreated it. You know, with like advertisements for the other Chipmunks records, which I don't know if they ever released, but yeah, this is a Capitol Records release, so yeah, I don't know if they'll put those other albums out. And we have, again, a re-release of the Christmas song from Nat King Cole. Again, verbatim, they reprinted everything. The only thing they did was they modernized Capitol Records logo on the back here, and saying that it's a part of Universal Music instead of EMI or whatever. But they recreated it almost verbatim, except for that one little thing. I mean, even if you pull out the sleeve, pull the record out of the sleeve, they recreated the label and everything. So, and what's interesting is that like I said, they recreated the label. And what was going on at the time, you know, stereo was kind of a big thing. So if you had a recording that was in stereo, I mean, you were living pretty good. And so there's a big warning on the Chipmunk Christmas with the Chipmunks is the same way. It says down at the bottom, this stereo record should be played only with a stereo cartridge. Needed to avoid damage to the record. So, and then there's some releases that said that it won't damage your records at all. So I don't know what was going on. And it also does advertise for the monaural release. Now here's the official TV soundtrack to Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas on vinyl. I purchased this from Cracker Barrel, out of all places. And it's a different colored vinyl. It's like a snow swirl vinyl. Taking me longer to do the records because they're like multiple colors and stuff like that. And of course, like the CD, I had to have the vinyl version of the Polar Express. And this is also a colored vinyl. I think it's a snow colored. Excuse me. Yeah, it's kind of a snow white colored vinyl. It's also transparent like the How the Grinch Stole Christmas one, but it's a little bit more foggy. So that way, I guess you can separate the two. And a Charlie Brown Christmas, and this is the Walmart Red Glitter exclusive. Pull this out. Now it looks like dust actually, but it's glitter. Slide that back. Yeah, it's taking me longer to go through the records than it is the CDs. So we'll just keep rolling. Some of the record sleeves are a little bit more stubborn to get into the cover. Well, you saw this one before. It's Dolly Parton's Home for Christmas, and it's just a standard black vinyl, I believe. But this is one that, yeah, it's just a standard black vinyl. Got that one at a Books A Million. And, but this one has the album credits, like the musicians that play on each track. But sometimes, if they do that, they're easy to slide in and out to the cover. Here's the picture on the back. And we have Miss Dolly again with the Holly Dolly Christmas. Now this was the vinyl release to the other album. They reissued this album on CD. I think they just... All I think they did was just set this vinyl out on the shelf. This is this was an independent release, while the other one was a Warner Records release. So who knows? Warner may have the distribution to that. I don't know. My beverage is starting to get cold, so again, Miss Dolly, and with Kenny Rogers, Once Upon a Christmas. Now, I believe, yeah, I also have a burned CD version of this. Yeah, this is says also includes digital download, but I've had the digital version for years. This was from a made-for-TV special that they did back in the 1980s, 1984, and it's just a basic reissue. It's just a standard vinyl. It's just a standard black vinyl. I haven't played this one yet, but you know that this is a classic from Target, Bing Crosby Christmas Classics. Of course, this is a Capitol Records release, silver metallic vinyl. So let's see what that looks like. Ooh. See, it's these paper sleeves. And I have replacement sleeves for, at least I thought I did. I have to double check, but I did have plastic sleeves for, like, if these go bad. If they're not paper sleeves, I'm sorry, they are paper sleeves, but they have a plastic coating on the inside to further protect the record, because obviously these things are stubborn. To get back into the... Now, I do a little bit different. I put the gap up at the top, to protect the record on the edges. So I put the opening up at the top into the cover. And I also put them in these plastics, polypropylene bags. It's the same thing I put my comic books in. This is, again, the best of Pentatonix Christmas. This is, as far as I know, this is their only vinyl release. There may be more, I'm not sure. But this is a gatefold release because it is a 2-record set. And I think it's a red vinyl. Nope. I think it's red and green. So this one is green. Let me see if I can slide it. That one a little bit easier. And oh, they're both green. I thought they were red and green, but they're both green. Are they? Or they swirl? Nope, they're both green. So, yeah. It'd be cool if they did that, because you would know which one was record 1, record 2. Some releases, some artists do that. Slide it back into the plastic here. That's just another thing I gotta slide it into. I also, depending on the release, if it's a 2-record set with a gatefold, I just cut a slit open with the plastic, leave the plastic on, and then put the bag over top of that. So, but if it's a gatefold record like that, I open it all the way up, because obviously you're going to want to have a gatefold to open up that cover, and possibly to 2-record set. And then we have Home Alone Christmas, which is the vinyl release. This is a 2019 vinyl issue, and it's that CD I told you about, where it has the all the pop music from Home Alone, and it also includes I forgot to mention, it does include the main theme from John Williams. So it has the song Somewhere in My Memory and Merry Christmas from Home Alone 2, as well as Carol of the Bells. So yeah, but it also has Alan Jackson singing Holly Jolly Christmas, Atlantic Starr, Silver Bells, Darling Love, All Alone on Christmas, Southside Johnny Lyon, Please Come Home for Christmas, and so on and so forth. But yeah, Home Alone Christmas. And I think that this was also a Walmart exclusive. And it's Christmas Party colored vinyl. So they did kind of a, which is more of a red and greenish swirl, transparent. So yeah. And we have the Elf soundtrack. It is a blue vinyl. I haven't played this one yet, actually. And also has some other information about the album. It's a letter from Jon Favreau himself. So yeah, and it's a, what is it? Narwhal blue vinyl. Kind of need to keep it moving on. I'm not going to pull out every record. Walmart exclusive Jingle All the Way 10 Holiday Classics. Has Judy Garland, Brenda Lee, Bing Crosby, Alvin and the Chipmunks, the Beach Boys. Yeah. And it is a red and green split colored vinyl. And we have Carrie Underwood, My Gift, vinyl, and it is a 2-record set with a gatefold. And got a couple of Elvis Christmas albums. One is a little bit better than the other. I mean in better condition, actually. Merry Christmas Baby, which I got at Walmart and actually bought it in the store. And unfortunately, it does have it plays okay, but it does have a slight warp in it, because that particular Walmart packs the records tight in their bin, and so it saw the damage of that. But it plays okay on my turntable. If you have a Crosley Cruiser, it will not play very well. And it is Winter Wonderland swirled vinyl. That is the color of it. And this one is just Elvis Presley, the classic Christmas album. Just a simple one record set, and it's just on a regular black vinyl. A couple more Walmart exclusives. Walmart, I guess, parodied with Universal Music, and this one has James Brown, Bing Crosby, John Coltrane, Stevie Wonder, Ella Fitzgerald. Yeah. And this one's Merry and Bright. And this is a opaque purple in color vinyl. And then we have a Country Christmas Greatest Hits. And I'm just looking at something and I realized that I am missing a CD. Yeah, it has Carrie Underwood, Luke Bryan, Little Big Town, George Strait, Brenda Lee, Alan Jackson, Vince Gill, Maddie and Tay, Gary Allen. Actually, I'm going to save this one for later because there's a specific reason. For King and Country, A Drummer Boy Christmas, and this is a 2-record set. Only at Walmart. It's a metallic silver vinyl, and this is one that it's not a gatefold, but they do this double thick slot. And then we have Michael Bublé's Christmas. And it's a red vinyl version. Christmas for Everyone. Yeah, look at that bright red, bloody red. Now let's slide that in there. Slides in nicely. And then we have Reba McEntire's Merry Christmas to You. Like I said, different cover. This is the original cover, but it's the same exact music. And I bought this used, but it's very lightly used. It's, yeah, even I bought this near mint, so yeah. Matteo Andrea and Virginia Bocelli, A Family Christmas. I bought the CD, left Target with just the CD, hoping that someone else would have the vinyl, and they didn't, so I had to go back to Target and get the vinyl. I'm that obsessed. But yeah, it's just a 1-record set, Target exclusive, a winter blue vinyl. It's a deep blue vinyl. Yeah, a Universal Decca Capitol Records release. And just got this one today. Haven't played it, but it's Whitney Houston, One Wish, the holiday album. Also has 2 songs from her soundtrack to The Preacher's Wife, which is Who Could Imagine It? Who Would Imagine a King, and Joy to the World. So yeah. And then Kelly Clarkson, When Christmas Comes Around, on vinyl. And it's a white vinyl, limited edition, Target exclusive. And that Whitney Houston was a white, what is it, snowy white vinyl, limited Walmart edition. Now hold on just a second, because I realized that there's a CD missing. So I better check, because when I got this out, I accidentally dropped some on the floor, and I may have forgotten to pick it up. Actually, I missed quite a few of them. About 4 more. So, continuing with Whitney Houston, here's the CD version of One Wish, the holiday album. And then we have a Neil Diamond Christmas, which is really a compilation of his other Christmas albums. Yeah, that's been remixed and remastered. Apparently he does own the masters to all his music, because originally he was with Columbia Records. Yeah, he was with Columbia Records, and now he's with Capitol Records. But what's interesting about Neil Diamond, and I enjoy the Christmas music. My favorite Neil Diamond album is actually an album he did back in the mid-90s called Tennessee Moon, which was Neil Diamond singing country music. I've only heard Neil Diamond, I've listened to Neil Diamond sing more special projects than I have sing his regular run-of-the-mill projects. Now, I have since listened to, songs like Cherry Cherry, Sweet Caroline, and so on and so forth, his more popular hits. But I always come back to his Christmas albums, which is really interesting. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't he Jewish? But yeah, he wants to sing Christmas, but you know what? He's more than welcome to, and more power to him. If he's singing all kinds of Christmas songs, from the Santa Claus themed Christmas songs to the songs about the birth of Jesus. So yeah, it makes me kind of question. I'm not going to question that his religion as a Jewish person or anything, or a race or anything like that. God bless him, But does he believe in Jesus? That's what I'm wondering. So I think it'd be cool if he did. Another one that now Neil Diamond and this group right here, my mom always played, particularly their Christmas albums. My mom grew up listening to this group right here. And I understand the popularity of the group. It's not exactly my cup of tea, but this Christmas album, this particular album, this Christmas album, is phenomenal. It's a great classic album. And it is the 70s pop group, The Carpenters, and their album, Christmas Portrait. And of course, I found this recently at Target for like just over $5. But I've listened to this particular CD. My mom had, and she still has it, I think. Wherever it's at, I don't know. But we listen to this album quite often on CD, and she may have listened to it when she was younger on vinyl. And I've seen the vinyl version. It's like half the length of what the CD version is, or maybe probably about, it's about a half of what this is, the length of the CD. But when music was being converted to CDs, they realized that they could take these 2 record sets and put them together and make one long CD. But in the case of the Carpenters' Christmas Portrait, they went back into archives and dug out a ton of music. Matter of fact, this isn't all of it. There was another release that had even more Christmas music, including this, that was put together for like a 2 or 3 CD set. Now, the coup de grace. And I just realized my battery is running low. I've been talking that long about Christmas music. Now, the world's most annoying Christmas song comes from this album. Mariah Carey, Merry Christmas. The deluxe CD edition and the vinyl version. Yes, I'm not ashamed to own this, okay? Yes, I will play this. So, sue me. Come on, bring it on. I don't care. I hear you laughing already. Don't care. So, that is all my Christmas music. I need to wrap it up quick because my battery is dying in the camera. And so, yeah, I go nuts every year. Again, it's about a day, 4 days and a half worth of Christmas music. That's according to my MP3, all my MP3s. Because I own MP3s on about every single one of these albums. Or I have converted the CDs to MP3 or digital download, whatever. So, hopefully you do enjoy Christmas music yourself. Hope you do have a lot of fun. Merry Christmas to you. You know, that's with the Christmas music. So, we'll be back with doing some more Christmas movies. We got a classic one coming up next, so do stay tuned for that on the good old YouTube. So, from me to you, see you later.